Do you think you're a safe cook? Well, think again, because certain cooking mistakes can sometimes be very dangerous and can actually kill you. Don't believe us? Then watch this video, because we'll be revealing some shocking and potentially dangerous cooking mistakes that you may be making without even realizing them. Let's begin. Number 1. High heating. High heating while cooking food can be dangerous if proper precautions are not taken. Cooking food at high temperatures can produce certain harmful compounds, which have been linked to cancer. Additionally, if food is cooked at high temperatures for too long, it can become overcooked and dry, which can make it difficult to digest and potentially cause digestive issues. In extreme cases, overheating food can cause it to catch fire, which can be a serious safety hazard. However, if you follow proper cooking techniques, use appropriate cookware and utensils, and monitor your food closely while cooking, the risks associated with high heat cooking can be greatly minimized. It is important to always follow recommended cooking temperatures and times for different types of food to ensure they are cooked thoroughly and safely. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. If you find our videos helpful, please support us by becoming a patron. Number 2. Using non-stick cookware. Non-stick cookware is coated with a type of plastic commonly known as Teflon. At high temperatures, it can break down and release toxic fumes and other chemicals, which can be harmful if inhaled in large amounts. However, the levels of these chemicals released during normal heat cooking with non-stick cookware are typically too low to cause harm to humans. It's also important to use non-stick cookware that is in good condition, without any scratches or chips in the coating, as damaged cookware can release more chemicals. Additionally, it's a good idea to use other types of cookware for high-heat cooking methods, like searing and frying, as non-stick cookware may not be able to withstand such high temperatures. Number 3. If you don't have basic knife skills. Not having basic knife skills can be dangerous while cooking, as it can increase the risk of cuts and other injuries. The most common types of knife injuries in the kitchen include cuts to the fingers and hands, which can be serious sometimes and require medical attention. Sharp knives are actually safer to use than dull knives, as dull knives generally require more force to cut through food and are more likely to slip and cause injury. It's important to keep your knives sharp and to use them properly in the correct grip, which can vary depending on the type of knife and the task you are performing to avoid any mishap. When cutting food, it's important to cut away from your body and to use a cutting board to protect your fingers. Number 4. Cross-contamination. You may have observed when a fresh fruit comes in contact with a rotten fruit, it also starts rotting. This phenomenon is also known as cross-contamination and happens due to the transfer of harmful bacteria or other pathogens from one food item to another. These germs not only tend to destroy the food itself, but also bear the risk of certain foodborne illnesses. To prevent cross-contamination, there are several steps you can take. The first is to always wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water before and after handling food. This is especially important when handling raw meat, poultry, fish, or eggs, as these foods are more likely to carry harmful bacteria. Next, use separate cutting boards and utensils for raw meat and other foods, such as vegetables and fruits. This helps prevent the transfer of harmful bacteria from raw meat to other foods. Color-coded cutting boards can be helpful to keep track of which board is used for which type of food. When preparing food, it's important to work in a clean and organized space. Clean and sanitize your work surfaces, utensils, and equipment regularly to prevent the spread of harmful bacteria. When cooking, it's important to use a food thermometer to ensure that food is cooked to a safe internal temperature. This is especially important for meat, poultry, fish, and egg dishes, which can harbor harmful bacteria if not cooked to the proper temperature. Finally, if you want to store food, then store it properly in the refrigerator or freezer to prevent the growth of harmful bacteria. Raw meat, poultry, and fish should be stored on the bottom shelf of the refrigerator to prevent any drips or spills from contaminating other foods. Number 5. If you are not properly defrosting your frozen foods. Defrosting frozen foods is an essential step in cooking, but it can also impact the safety and nutritional value of your food. There are several methods of defrosting frozen foods, but not all of them are safe or recommended. The first method of defrosting frozen foods is by using the microwave. While it is a convenient and quick method, it can also result in uneven defrosting, leading to the growth of harmful bacteria. If you choose to use this method, make sure to cook the food immediately after defrosting. The other method is to defrost food in the refrigerator. This method is the safest and most recommended, as it allows the food to defrost slowly and evenly, reducing the risk of bacterial growth. However, it can take several hours or even overnight to defrost, so plan ahead. You can also defrost food in cold water. This method is faster than defrosting in the refrigerator, but still requires some planning. Place the frozen food in a plastic bag and submerge it in cold water. Change the water every 30 minutes until the food is completely defrosted. This method is also safe, but it is important to cook the food immediately after defrosting. Number 6. Properly store your leftovers. Leftover food storage is a crucial step to ensure that your food is safe and healthy to eat. However, incorrect storage methods can lead to foodborne illnesses and other health risks. The first, and probably the most important rule of leftover food storage, is to refrigerate or freeze the food as soon as possible. Leaving food at room temperature for too long can lead to the growth of bacteria, which can cause food poisoning. Secondly, make sure that the containers used for storing leftover food are airtight and leak-proof. This prevents cross-contamination and helps preserve the quality of the food. Another important factor to consider is the temperature of your refrigerator or freezer. Your refrigerator should be set at or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, while your freezer should be set at or below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. This can ensure that your food stays fresh and safe to eat later. Another great thing that you can do is label and date your leftover food containers. Generally, leftover food should be consumed within 3 to 4 days of refrigeration and within 2 to 3 months of freezing. So labeling can be a great way to remember for how long the food has been in the fridge or freezer, and can also ensure that you don't use expired food items. Number 7. Using expired ingredients. Using expired ingredients may probably be the worst thing that you could be doing to yourself. Expired food not just develops off flavors and textures, but can also be very toxic. This is mainly because with the passage of time, ingredients can become contaminated with harmful bacteria, such as Salmonella and E. coli. These bacteria can cause foodborne illness and lead to symptoms such as nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Moreover, certain ingredients in food items like nuts and dairy products can become more allergenic as they age. So people with nut allergies or lactose intolerance are very likely to develop severe allergic reactions after consuming them. So it's best to avoid using expired food items and always check expiration dates before using them. Always discard food items that have passed their expiration date. It's also important to properly store food items to extend their shelf life. But remember that doing so will not increase their expiry date. So keeping track of expiration dates and properly storing ingredients, you can reduce the risk of foodborne illness and ensure that your dishes are safe and nutritious. Thank you for watching and subscribing to the channel. See you in the next video.